Minister of Energy of Ukraine to come to the desk to sign the association document.
I teraz, szanowni państwo,
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like Madam Minister and also the Executive Director to come to the places where the microphones are for them to give their address to us.
Dobrze, państwa ministrów, pana dyrektora o zajęcie miejsc za mównicami.
So, and first I would like to ask Madam Anna Moskwa, the Minister of Climate and Environment, to take the floor.
To speak Polish.
So I will speak Polish. So. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome all of you very cordially at this very important event, which is held very quickly, a little bit in the background, but it's of very high importance. So I would like to say a few sentences about the circumstances of today's meeting. The International Energy Agency is, as of today, the most important energy organization from among the group of different energy organizations that function in the world. So on one hand, this is the agency which understands the issue of the energy safety, and on the other hand, also the transformation of the renewables, and in parallel, also is heading for these two directions. It's very close to our Polish approach. For us, it is very important, the stability, sovereignty, and energy safety, being aware of the fact of the necessity of transformation into renewables. Therefore, the International Energy Agency is very close to us. And I would like also to extend my thanks to the key person in the International Energy Agency, the head, the executive board, Mr. Fatih Birol, who is running his next term of office and heading his organization. Thank you very much for your support prior to the war. Also, when the International Energy Agency was implementing or was actually supporting our model of energy safety and the transformation model and the energy policy, and also the directions that we set for ourselves, it turned out that we were right. That is the bitter truth. This is the bitter verification of our support. So thank you very much for your support prior to the war, and also when the war is on. on for our attempts in the field of energy policy. Thank you very much. Mr. Minister also will extend the thanks to the International Energy Agency. So we would like to also deliver to you the communication to you, also the communication of Ukraine via the International Energy Agency. So thank you very much also for this analytical part. Today there is no other organization which has so many expertise, so many analyses. This is also the element of recommendation in the agency. So thank you very much. So these analyses are very practical. They are used by the European Commission, by the member states, and also by us in planning, and also in the change of the energy policy that we are conducting now. And so Ukraine joins the agency. So I just talked about the agency to emphasize the importance of this agency incorporating big countries all over the world, among others Japan, Australia, New Zealand, being in different situations in terms of energy policy, but we find ourselves like in a family in the International Energy Agency. We welcome Lithuania, which joined the agency, and also the status of a member or a candidate for the member is a very demanding process. We still have employees in our ministry who still remember how important, how complex was the process before we actually became the member of the agency. Lithuania is a member today. The Ukraine joins the agency, and also welcome Lithuania when Lithuania joined the agency. So we can say today that Lithuania also joins our international family of the agency, and also Ukraine is very much welcomed. During the Paris session, Ukraine obtained the consolidated support from all the countries, not only because the Ukraine needs the support and friendship, but Ukraine is in a very good path in terms of the energy policy, in terms of the energy safety and the energy transformation. One of the conditions for the participation of being a member is also to understand the needs of the transformation, the renewables, and Ukraine gives an example. Mr. Minister will also say a few words about his own model. So this is not the situation, this is an exceptional, like the Ukraine finds itself very well on this international arena, and we were recommending the Ukraine's membership, and we are also declaring the further support on this partnership, on this membership path with the International Energy Agency. So if there is any involvement on our part needed, so we of course declare also our further support, and also encouraging also other members, other countries who are still not in our family to join us, so that we can go hand in hand in this big energy area. Now I would like to ask, I give the floor to Mr. Fatih Birol, the Executive Director of the International Energy Agency.
Madam Minister Moskva, Minister Galushenko, Ambassadors, Excellencies, dear colleagues, today Ukraine is joining the family of the International Energy Agency. This is a great day for us. But before that, may I, Madam Minister, thank you and your government, as I mentioned to Mr. Prime Minister a few minutes ago, the position you have taken from the day one, the strong and determined support to Ukraine is an excellent one, and it is appreciated across the world. The same thing goes to the Polish people, opening their arms to Ukrainian people and 100% support for Ukraine. I would like to thank you very much, Madam Minister, and to your government and to your people for this great support, and also helping to organize this event. Excellencies, it is a big honor for the International Energy Agency, my colleagues at the IEA in Paris, our member governments and for myself welcoming Ukraine into the IEF family. IEF family today, the countries, members of the International Energy Agency family are about 5 billion people, big chunk of the global population. It is not very easy to be a member of the IEA, but we try to make sure that if a country is a member, we work with them very closely. I am so happy that the Ukraine is joining today, and I can assure you that I was so impressed when we discussed with our governments the application of Ukraine, Mr. Minister's application. It was a unanimous support from all governments to have Ukraine part of the International Energy Agency family. So this is, I think, this unanimous support indicates the great respect we have for the Ukrainian people and Ukrainian government today. Dear colleagues, dear friends, the world is going through multiple crises. One of them is the humanitarian crisis. We are following it every day, and Ukraine and Ukrainian people is exposed to this crisis. And we are, as I told, at several occasions through visual link to Mr. Minister, we admire, Mr. Minister, your dignity, your courage, and you are an inspiration to, I can only speak about the staff members of the International Energy Agency and our families. You are an inspiration to all of us, Mr. Minister. So thank you very much for what you are doing. Another crisis, ladies and gentlemen, is the, as I call it, the first global energy crisis. Our world has never ever witnessed such an energy crisis in terms of its depth and in terms of its complexity. And these are driven on 24th of February by the Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And in my view, it will be rather optimistic to believe that the world energy system will go back to the 23rd of February where we have at all. And there will be new relationships, a new energy system, and here energy security will be a key issue. International Energy Agency, as Madam Minister knows very well, since last September, we ring the alarm bells that the Russia's declining gas flows to Europe might be an indication where Russia-Ukraine tensions may end up. We said in September, repeated in January, and today it is where we are. And just 1 week after 24th of February, beginning of March, we came up with a 10-point plan for Europe, how we can reduce our reliance on Russian gas. And I see that many governments today are making use of that. Now, here, at the same time, I believe 24th of February can well be a turning point in the history of energy policies. We may see some of the energy technologies coming to part of our life much faster and in bolder terms. Remember the oil crisis we had 70s, it gave a boost to major efficiency boost in terms of our cars and it gave a boost to new technologies ranging from nuclear power to others. And I would believe that this global energy crisis may well be also a turning point, especially if the governments put the right policies in place. And this winter, as we have been warning several times and recently, the day before yesterday, will be very difficult in Europe. Even if Russia doesn't cut the gas completely off. It will be difficult, and it is the reason, as I said, since 4 months, we are urging European governments and the colleagues in Brussels, working with them together, how we can prepare ourselves for winter. The longer we wait, the more drastic measures we need to take. So it is the reason it is better to start now, and on one hand, finding other sources of gas, which is not so plenty, to be honest with you, and on the other hand, we have to save energy as quickly as possible through voluntary, but also maybe through regulatory measures. And I believe this winter may become a historic test of European solidarity when there is not enough gas. I believe Europe might well be called to show the true strength of its union. And I hope, and I am sure, it will be the case. Now, to finish, Madam Minister, a few words, if I may, beyond energy. After we have decided, our governing board decided Ukraine becoming a new member of the IEA family, I started to read about Ukrainian history and the literature. And last weekend, I have, in quote, discovered a poet, Taras Shevchenko. I am sure many of you know, but I just discovered him, and I was reading about his poems, and there is a poem, and I think he's a hero, a national hero in Ukraine. I think the Ukrainians should be all proud of him. I think they are, but to my ignorance, I just found him. And there is a small 4 lines of poet, if I may, Madam Minister. It is called Kobza. It is what Taras Shevchenko asked Ukrainians. He says, study and read, learn of foreign things, but don't forget that which is yours. So here, the national identity is very strongly underlined. So, Excellencies, while reading about Taras Shevchenko, the national hero, I not only discovered a momentous historical figure, but a small historical detail. Today in my speech, several times I mentioned 24th of February, the day, a very sad day for Ukraine, very sad day for the humanity. And what I discover is the birthday of Taras Shevchenko is 25th of February. It is a response to 24th of February. A national hero which was born on 25th of February, just the day of the anniversary of the occupation of Russia of Ukraine. So you have all the reasons, Mr. Minister, to be proud of him, to be proud of what your people are doing. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, this winter, I said, will be very difficult in Europe, but not only in Europe, many parts of the world. for economy, for energy, for our day-to-day lives. We said it, and it will be the case, unfortunately. However, one thing is sure. After winter, spring will come. Spring will come, and spring will come with its all beauties, all colors. And as another poet said, they can cut all the flowers, but they cannot stop spring coming. I am sure spring will come to Ukraine and to the world. Once again, Ukraine, welcome to International Energy Agency. Mr. Minister, welcome to IEA. And you have a new friend, new brother in Paris, German. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dziękuję bardzo. Bardzo proszę pana Germana Gałuszenkę, ministra energii Ukrainy, o zabranie głosu. Bardzo proszę.
Dear Anna, dear Fatih, thank you, dear colleagues and friends. I must say friends. It's really an honor to be here today, and especially we discussed this before all the steps we did, and you know, of course, I could never imagine it happens like this during the war, and but from the other side, what is happening today, that is the feeling of solidarity. That's what we need all together. You're absolutely right. We understand what I mean, Russians did. I mean, they did what they usually did. So we face this situation from 2014. And we also have the cut of supply of gas and everything around this. But I would say that today the word solidarity means more than a word. And just because we unified, we could stand against Russian aggression and their unjustified aggression on our country. And today, I repeat this word solidarity, but it becomes more important, even in our days. Of course, only united we could share this risk, we could face this risk, and we could make right decisions with the help, of course, of International Energy Agency, which is, I'm proud that today I have a chance to sign and Ukraine become the associated member of. The goals, of course, the goals of Russia is, it's not, the energy is just one of the weapons they use, and that was before. So we discussed the Nord Stream 2 issue, we discussed everything, what they did before and even before the big war. But what we see that, you know, they are always trying to push you as much as they can and to push our joint goals, our joint principles of life. And that is freedom, that is independence. And we discussed the situation when, concerning the gas supplies, they asked for, you have to pay in rubles. Then some companies said, okay, so we are ready to pay in rubles. They opened accounts in rubles in Gazprom Bank. Then they said, okay, you're ready to pay rubles, but you have shortage with gas supply because of the turbine and everything around Nord Stream 1. And now we got the waiver on sanctions, this turbine probably comes back, but now they said, okay, so we will have turbine, but now you have another problem, which is force majeure clause in the contract, and all legal gymnastic around is started. So there is no final point. So they would do this as much as they can do. And what we feel that this winter is the last winter when they could press Ukraine, when they could press all of us. And you're absolutely right that this, in our anticipation, this is also one of the difficult winter we face, I mean, all together, and very important that we should be united to defeat these threats. Of course, we feel support feel all our people. I'm not talking about the energy sector, so the whole people of Ukraine feel this support. I want just to mention that the government of Poland agreed to give medical assistance to the victims of recent strike in Vinnytsia. You know, it was attack on the center of the city. A lot of civilians dead and a lot of wounded. And in our feeling, Poland helped us with all it has, and then a bit more. And that is very important when we have this feeling that everyone is trying to do the most what he can do, I mean, to help Ukraine. And today, of course, I think we become stronger altogether. We become stronger because the Ukrainian energy system is stable, even during the war, even during this awful devastation which we have. Unfortunately, we lost a number of generation facilities already. Today, the Zaporizhia nuclear power NPP under occupation, and that is the biggest nuclear station in Europe with the 6 units. Unfortunately, we have losses on our energy war with Russia, but signing this association and becoming more together, we become stronger. And that gives us hope, and we are confident that they cannot beat us. That's impossible. That's impossible. And I just would like to finally to say what you mentioned about the spring. Thank you for Shevchenko. That is really our national hero, and you know I could cite him like a lot of words, and everything is connected with relation with Ukraine and Russia. And he was right. He was right in, I mean, all the words he wrote. You know, today it's also, we have a feeling that after this war, we will get a victory, and after victory, we will get a peace. And after peace, we need to rebuild our energy system. And in this process, we need your advices, your help, your cooperation, and with all together and advanced technologies, in the new technologies, innovations in energy sectors. And we want to rebuild a new energy system of Ukraine. Not to rebuild the old one, which we had. Rebuild a new one with the best solution we could afford. And I'm sure that we will do this together. Thank you very much. Thank you for today's events, and thank you once again.